Hey, beautiful people. Welcome to C2L. I'm Tomide.
I'm Kalpa.
And this is Chennai to Lagos. And welcome to our special end of the year Q&A Mukbang. Let's go. Wifey, what have you made for us today?
Just sweet potato and and scrambled eggs with some veggies in it. This is actually Tom's favorite recipe that I make for the eggs. But I decided to do sweet potato instead of bread today because I just felt like I needed something.
Actually, these are like her pregnancy foods.
Yeah, I like sweet potato. I like eggs.
So, yeah, I'm just riding off of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what are we up to today?
So we're doing the Q&A and we asked you guys if you had questions mostly around 2022 and obviously with the new season that we're in, if you guys had any questions on that. So we decided to do something around that and that's basically it. We'll get started.
All right.
Someone asked us how our 2022 has been so far. This is 2022, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why,
Yeah.
but my mind is already in 2023. So whenever I'm filling out forms, I've been writing 2023 everywhere.
2023. 2022. I don't know. I feel like it's been the most adult year for me. Most of my life, like the previous years, were all just, in some sense, fairy tale. Why I mean fairy tale is because I was under so many layers of quote unquote protection. Like I didn't have to do certain things, but I feel like this year was like a year that I had to. I was kind of like in the water, like deep end type stuff. So I don't know. I think 2023. I'm saying 2023. 2022 for me was a year of growth. It's the most life-changing year for me because obviously the fact that a baby is coming into the picture, and then also now the psychological things of what that does and how you now start thinking about what you need to do, this and that. So it's been one of those interesting ones. But yeah, you know, like they say, diamonds are made under pressure. Yeah, so this was the year of all of that. So next year I'll officially be shining like a diamond. For sure, it's been a year of growth. I think it's been an important year for me, and I appreciate everything that I've had to experience this year. Yeah, that's my year.
My year has pretty much been the same, except I wouldn't say there was newfound pressure. I feel like I've always been in a place where I'm doing things that are bringing me new kinds of pressures. And this year is, again, one such year. But the first half of the year was like just a continuation of 2021. It was just the two of us. And I think the pressure at that time was really just around furnishing our house.
Yes.
And at that time, I thought that was a really big deal. Like, I was like, wow, this is a lot for us to handle. And then come July, we realized we're pregnant. And the first few, 3 months of that was just us processing our pregnancy and going through the first trimester and just going for hospital visits. So you don't really think about, the things you're supposed to do for the pregnancy. You think about just taking care of yourself. And then we entered second trimester, and I would say that's like the most diamond building pressure that fell on us, because now it was real. This the bump was there, the baby's heartbeat was strong. We saw him moving in the ultrasound, and all that just made it so much more real. And we were just like, wow, so what do we need again, for the pregnancy and for the baby? And then we realized we only have a few more months to getting, to bringing the baby into the world. And that few more months will have me in a place where I'm not really performing to the most of what I do, naturally. So I think all that put together, I would say the last 3 months is where I felt the brunt of 2022 in a good way. Of course, it's really a blessing, and these are pressures that come with blessings in some sense.
Yeah.
But then why I'm saying that is because I felt the most alone sometimes. But that's where I felt the need for God to fill that space more than any other time in my life. of course, one of the best years we've had.
Obviously the best. Like,
But like, you know that thing, I have responsibilities.
I got responsibilities now. Responsibilities? That means I'm not allowed to have fun anymore for the rest of my life.
I have responsibilities.
I have
now.
responsibilities. Someone asked, how are you going to name the baby? Personally, we will not share the name until the baby's here.
Yeah. But the system that we're trying to use is this. We represent two different cultures that have different ways of doing things. So we need to find a way of meeting in the middle. And that process at times might mean doing things a bit differently. But the end goal is that we want to make sure that that child can represent both cultures. Like as they move on in life, like they feel connected. And the name is a very important part of that. So generally speaking, we are going to make sure that there's a Yoruba name. There's a Tamil name as well. I think that's really just how we're thinking about it. Right? So there will definitely be a name from both sides.
Yeah.
As time goes on, even with more kids, maybe with one child, the name that they are known for might be the Tamil name. The other child, the name that they're known for might be the Yoruba name. It's fine, but they're going to have both names involved, and that's it.
Yeah. It's just that I don't want them to be too long, like our names. I feel like I know the pain of having long names, and so do you. Yeah. But I would love for them to have meaningful names. That's very important to me. Both names need to have very good meanings, just like how Tommy Day's name is and my name is as well. And they need to be like easy to, I feel like, for somebody to learn.
Yeah. And obviously this is not really a driving factor, but it has to be a name that I can buy domains and make sure that they can own all of those. I joke, but I just noticed that we look exact. This was not intentional, by the way.
Yeah, I wore this first. You copied
I couldn't find anything.
Someone asked us, how far along are you? You say.
So we are in our 6th month. Yeah, we're in our 6th month. That's crazy because I can't even believe we've kept it a secret for that long.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it wasn't that hard.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't really showing until like the 5th month.
Proper editing and making sure that, so 6 months, how about that?
Yeah.
We're close.
What are your food cravings? This is an interesting question because I don't have cravings actually.
You have a few.
But they're not like I go crazy about them kind of thing.
I actually thought, like, hearing other people, I thought you'd be like telling me you want to have grape and salt and soy and like just weird things.
Yeah.
You know? But
me too.
She hasn't done that. She's been very, like, at times I'm wondering, like, are you sure? I think generally she craves things that she needs for her body. And I think that's really what all cravings are. But I think like the cravings come up, the way they come out are very quote unquote same.
Subtle.
Yeah, very subtle.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound anything like dramatic. She'd be like, I need to have a watermelon. I need to have bone broth. I need to have, so it's like, that's how they come up. So I don't think there's been anything specific, but I think she really likes potatoes. And potatoes have been a key thing. And then I think lately you've liked a little bit more of like sweet things. Like you've had a lot more every now and then for fun, Fanta. She never takes these kind of drinks.
I don't take sodas much, but
so
like
she's had quite a few. Nothing too serious, but like at least it stands out so you know that okay, this is different. You weren't doing this before.
Yeah, it's been subtle. I just like hot, like wholesome meals. That's what I would say I crave. So like a meal like this with hot sweet potatoes and eggs, spicy eggs. That's perfect for me. I'm both on the spectrum of spicy and sweet at the moment.
Yeah.
I add so much spice to my food, but at the same time, it's like I counteract it by having a lot of sugary things as well. But I don't indulge in the sugar thing too much. Like it's maybe like once a week I'll buy something like marshmallows or something like that. But more so I just take my usual food, which is something I don't understand. Maybe third trimester I might have cravings.
Yeah, I look forward to that because I like to taste like now if you have any of those extreme ones.
Yeah.
I like to try because lately everything she craves, I'm perfectly fine eating with her. Like we eat the same stuff. My life has kind of just revolved around hers strangely. So.
How has your pregnancy been so far? That's a really great question, and maybe a whole other video that we'll have to do towards the end of the pregnancy so we can be more we know a lot more that we can say. Yeah. But so far, physically, I've been fine. I have been myself, doing my workouts. I still do what I can. I do get tired quite easily, but I think that's also because of the heat. Like where we are is so hot, and I think that really gets me. But physically, I'm like, in terms of physical health, I'm good. Emotionally, I think it was only towards the end of the second trimester when I felt quite moody, and I just felt a little emotional. Like I would cry very easily over some things, and I do usually do that, but it's not usually that bad. Yeah. I think I would say that might be because of the hormones, but it wasn't so dramatic. There was also a lot going on in our lives the past 2 to 3 weeks that I think it just all came down on me at once. And then also psychologically, I have a therapist I talk to, who is also a mother of 2. So she's very, she understands, and she's been guiding me through this process and just helping me think about things a little bit more like showing myself love and showing myself understanding. Like there are times I told her, I have so much to do, but I just want to sleep, and I'm so angry at myself because I just can't be productive. And she was just telling me that you are growing a whole life in you. Please take it easy. Like you don't understand how much your body is doing on the outside, so when somebody tells you those things, that's when you realize, oh, okay, I get it. It's not just a flu or something like that, right? So far, my pregnancy has been so cool. Like, I think Tom can even say more on it.
Yeah. When you see like what people go through in pregnancy, and you watch all these videos, and you have friends who are also there, like you already have like a preconceived idea of what you are going to expect. But to be very honest, it's been very, very, at times you have to remind yourself that, okay, she's pregnant. Like everything feels honestly a bit normal, which is really cool, so yeah. And it just shows you how every pregnancy is different. Like the world is still learning. There's so much to still learn about pregnancies, but it's felt very normal. Obviously there are things that she doesn't do as like before. Even just the way she gets up from the bed is a bit different. The way she sleeps is different. Those are the things that like kind of signal to you that, okay, you're in a different phase. But other than that, it really still feels like stuff is the same. I remember some other day I was working, and I was looking out of the window upstairs, and I saw her doing like her jog and stuff, and I'm like, wow, you would never imagine that she's carrying a whole human in her. But yeah, I feel like now that we're entering, we're headed towards the last stretch. Now obviously things are a bit different. Like, but the past 6 months has generally been so nothing.
Yeah.
She's never puked. Like she has never puked.
Yeah, I just had a little bit of nausea the first trimester.
Yeah, the first trimester, but she's never puked. And for me, I'm like, even like when in the early stages, not puked at all. So, yeah, it's quite interesting.
And even when we go to the hospital, we do our tests. Everything is great, So we're so grateful and thankful to God for that, because even as we got pregnant, those were our prayers, is that I don't have these things. We pray on the baby, we pray on my health. They're small things, but they can really make or break your day. Yeah. And I really did pray I didn't want morning sickness. I can't stand that thing, like even if before when I was sick and I would puke, I can't do it,
Yeah.
So I just knew it's not for me. And just like that, that didn't happen. So if you're pregnant, just pray, ask God for, good health.
And speak.
Yeah, and just speak over your body, and the body will listen. So far it's been good, but we'll make another video maybe closer to the baby coming.
To give more like elaborate details of
stuff.
Stuff.
Because we've not even taken into account 7, 8, 9th month.
Yeah.
So this is a really interesting question. It says, is your hubby usually emotionally available for you? How does he do that? And advice to the struggling men. I think it's a personality thing, perhaps, because I think you have a very innate emotional intelligence about what I'm going through. So he has obviously been very emotionally available for me, but I would say it has grown. We've realized what that means to us over time. like especially that season that we were telling you guys about recently, when we felt like we grew closer to each other. That was a time when he had to realize what I needed and how he could come through for me emotionally. And I also had to realize the things that he was going through emotionally, but would rarely talk about it. So yeah, he's been emotionally available, but obviously it's like work in progress for both of us, because you have to understand your partner and you have to understand the moments they are available for you emotionally. You can't just go and talk to them about something very heavy when they're working. So even that, you have to understand that can we set aside time, maybe go for a walk, and then during your walk you ease into these conversations. And you don't, like when they're talking about what they are going through, you don't judge them for it, you prod them more, you ask more questions around how you can be a better help for them around that situation that they're going through. And also just understanding that both of you are very human in your life, and so like you might not be at the same wavelength just because you're in the same house. So it's going to require a lot of conversations, like that back and forth conversation, to realize that this is where your partner is emotionally, and this is why they come through to me the way they do. Yeah.
I usually don't feel like I am qualified enough for such questions, but I think what has helped is making an intention to like have we play games that force us to talk. Like, the truth is, a lot of times it might be strange just starting some of these conversations. You don't know where to start, but like we've got a lot of games, and every now and then like I'll create exercises where we could just force us to talk. Write down what you're thinking. You write down on this side, I write down on this side. Then when we meet in the middle, we start talking about it. Just find ways, unique, creative ways to actually force conversation, because I feel like a lot of times you can't get there if you really don't know what's going on, and most times people won't speak about these things. A lot of times you can hold on to these feelings. So yeah.
But when you're doing it, just make sure you're both not like busy and working, because then you won't be like in that moment. So maybe go for a walk, or just sit outside of your house. I don't know, find a place where you're just in the zone to like outlet everything. Goals for 2023.
All right, so I think for me, there's something that my brother and I like to talk about. When you find the road in life that you're meant to be on, all you have to do is just continue going, right? And I think for me, 2022 was the year that I found that road. There's still a lot of things that are getting more clear, but for me, like generally, that road was found. So for me, the goal for 2023 is just to keep on moving on that road. But generally, one of the things that I want to make sure I do as well in the new year is just going back to being a lot more also intentional with myself. Like me as Tommy Day, the character. I realize one thing about myself is that I can get so caught up in everything, and at some time it's like I'm not neglecting, but like I forget at times that, okay, bro, you gotta take a step back, do this for yourself, do that. I want to make sure that I intentionally pamper myself unapologetically. So yeah, it's a year of so many things. It's really hard to just say what 2023 would be in a nutshell, but it's really, for me, just continuing the work that we've started in every area, and just growth. I think it's a year of growth, and obviously it's the year where I officially become a daddy, a father. So I really look forward to that whole process. Like I'm genuinely looking forward to, really looking forward to that season, and just seeing how I can start helping my son understand, or just be the best version of himself, even from the onset. So yeah, 2023 is going to be exciting.
I like that. For me, it's just to keep going the way I've been going the past few months. You see, my journey is different because for you it's from the outside. For me, it's like I am the person moving this baby. So the journey is still ongoing, and the goal is just to continue enjoying that.
Yeah.
So, like, even when we, first knew we were pregnant, like, I just told myself, I want to enjoy my pregnancy. Because until then, all I ever heard was stories of how people were struggling during their first pregnancy, how it was painful, how it was this, so many things, and we're not taking away that experience from anybody. That's their experience. But I consciously wanted to be like, but what if it's a positive experience?
Yeah.
What if, is that so impossible? And like, the prayer was always just that, I enjoy this health-wise, everything. We have everything that we need financially, and everything. So, and that's how it's been, despite the little ups and downs, that's how it's been. And I've totally enjoyed my pregnancy so far. So the goal is to continue enjoying the pregnancy and then continue enjoying, even postpartum, like enjoying the moments with the newborn. I read this thing that said the baby is only a newborn for 7 weeks. And that's so shocking.
Wow.
Like, even like up until 1 year old, to me they're still going to be like newborn, up until they stop breastfeeding, they're still newborns. But I want to enjoy that process, which also means I want to add joy to some of the tasks that we have in place. I'm a very task oriented person. Like, if I can think about things we need to do next month, write a list, dependencies, charts, I can do all those things. But in doing so, you can sometimes lose the joy of the process itself, and you're just really stuck in checking things off. But like, I want to find joy in checking things off, and even the process of us getting there, So even if we buy like the smallest thing, like a crib or like a bassinet, I want it to be the most joyful moment for me, So that's my biggest goal for the first Q1 and Q2 of 2023, because my life of Q1 and Q2 is going to be just, navigating this baby.
Yeah.
And then bringing the baby, and then carrying the baby, and feeding the baby.
Yeah.
So that's basically my main job next year.
I am support.
And if that's my main job, then I better find joy
in that
and
process.
peace in that.
What a way to close it. But yes, guys, we are so happy. Thank you for being with us on this journey, for sticking around, especially for those of you who are like always looking, have they dropped a video? Have they dropped a video? I think this year we probably gave people like that a tough time.
Yeah, so thank you for being patient
Thank you
with
for
us.
being patient with us. And like we said, 2023, we're trying to do as much as we can, even with all that's going on, to just put structure so we can continue just delivering in a way that is very easy on our part, and obviously for you guys as those reviews. So
If you haven't subscribed, now is the time.
Now's the time to do it,
because you're about
100K.
going to be 100K family.
Guys, come on, let's do
So
this.
be a part of the 100K family.
Yeah.
Subscribe, and leave positive things for us to see and
Yeah.
hold on to. Send us your prayers, and we just love seeing all the positive things you guys put in the comments. And we are also there on Instagram, so DM us.
Otherwise, guys, like, subscribe, click that notification bell so you can keep up with what's coming. We love you. We hope you guys have an amazing year. We pray that next year will be the best year you guys have lived. May it be more than what this year was. May you have clarity, may you find happiness, and may you just find joy in everything that you do. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
God bless.